Have you ever heard about a giant snake-shaped building, a place where just whistling makes a live band appear, or a capital city with a women-only subway line where the cost of living is only 40% of what it is in the U.S.? That's Mexico, the country of the strangest and most vibrant things on Earth. And today, let's uncover the bizarre facts about Mexico in this travel documentary. Number 15. The most unique country in the Americas. The full name of Mexico is Estados Unidos Mexicanos. It's not just a country, it's a miniature world where some of the oldest cultures in the Americas meet the strangest things you've never heard of. Located strategically right below the United States, Mexico stretches from the Gulf of Mexico all the way to the Pacific Ocean. Here's something mind-blowing. Mexico's coastline is more than 5,800 miles long. That's enough to drive from Los Angeles to New York and back again. With an area of about 758,000 square miles, Mexico is the 14th largest country in the world, more than 3 times the size of Texas. Its location makes it rich in natural resources and turns it into a cultural and trade hub of Latin America. Mexico also sits right on the Pacific Ring of Fire, which gives it fertile lands and over 40 major volcanoes. One of them, Popocatépetl, is still active, making the landscape both breathtaking and dangerous at the same time. By 2025, Mexico is home to more than 131 million people, making it the most populated Spanish-speaking country in the world, even bigger than Spain itself. While Spanish is the main language, more than 60 indigenous languages are still spoken, living legacies from the Maya and Aztec civilizations. And the Mexican flag, with an eagle devouring a snake while perched on a cactus, is not just a national symbol, it's one of the oldest founding emblems still in existence worldwide. Number 14. Zipolite, Mexico's clothing optional capital, hidden along the Pacific coast in Oaxaca, Mexico's most culturally rich state. Zipolite is unlike any other beach in the country. It's the only officially recognized clothing optional beach in Mexico, where visitors can freely choose their style without being restricted by clothes. That's why Zipolite has become a magnet for anyone craving absolute freedom from American travelers, seeking a liberating escape to modern naturists embracing a back-to-nature lifestyle. Zipolite isn't just a place to sunbathe. It's a living symbol of be yourself, surrounded by wild beauty, soft golden sand, powerful waves crashing against the cliffs, and sunsets that many say are the most spectacular in all of Oaxaca. Locals are famously friendly and open-minded, treating personal freedom as a natural part of everyday life. Every February, Zipolite hosts the festival Nudista, one of the biggest clothing-optional events in the Americas. Thousands of visitors from the US, Canada, and Europe come for activities like beach yoga, sports competitions, body art, and community gatherings. Zipolite draws anyone who wants to slow down and experience nature in its purest form. Comment the number 4 if Zipolite just made it onto your bucket list. Number 13. The alluring beauty of Mexican women. If you've only thought of Mexico in terms of tacos and tequila, you've missed its most striking treasure. Mexican women, the captivating Latinas, unlike anywhere else. Their beauty blends Aztec, Maya, and Spanish heritage, giving them glowing honey-brown skin, deep, expressive eyes, and thick, lustrous black hair, a natural, healthy look you won't easily find in Europe or North America. Here's the thing, Mexican women are world famous for their femininity, grace, and how they care for a partner like a future husband. They know how to cook, how to listen, and they place a high value on family. But don't mistake that for being traditional. Modern Mexican women are highly educated, with growing numbers becoming doctors, lawyers, and business owners. When it comes to relationships, Mexican women are confident and proactive. They love passionately, but demand sincerity. In many surveys, Mexico ranks among the top countries where women are open to dating and marrying foreigners, especially Americans, thanks to their warm culture and adaptability. Whether you're in Texas or Florida, don't be surprised if your smiling neighbor happens to be a Mexican woman who brings over a fresh plate of enchiladas. And here's an even bigger surprise: in some regions, old traditions still exist, where women keep the family nameland and voice in decision-making, a rare form of matriarchy that Americans usually only read about in history books. Curious if Mexican women are really that bold when it comes to dating? Comment the number 8. And I'll reveal a cultural secret most tourists completely overlook. Number 12. The world's strangest doll island. About an hour by boat from Mexico City, hidden among the ancient canals of Xochimilco, a UNESCO World Heritage Site, lies a place that fascinates everyone: Isla de las Muñecas, also known as the Island of the Dolls. This is not an amusement park, but a small island covered with hundreds of old dolls hanging from trees, balconies, and mossy corners. Each one carries its own haunting expression, as if whispering stories from a distant past. Legend has it that Don Julian Santana, a hermit who once lived on the island, found a doll floating near the spot where a young girl had tragically drowned. Believing her spirit lingered there, he began hanging dolls to honor her memory. Over time, his collection grew into a unique piece of Mexican folklore. Today, Isla de las Muñecas is considered one of Mexico's strangest and most captivating destinations. Visitors usually arrive on traditional trainera boats, often during sunset tours. As the fading light filters through the trees, reflecting on the still waters and the silent hanging dolls, the scene feels both poetic and surreal, unlike anywhere else in the world. The Island of the Dolls isn't frightening. It's a rare glimpse into faith, memory, and a spiritual bond deeply rooted in Mexico. Comment 5. If this eerie yet fascinating island just made it onto your travel list. Number 11. A wedding tradition, Mexican style. If you've always imagined a Mexican wedding filled only with mariachi music and salsa dancing, you'll be surprised by the ritual called amarre de tilmas, the tying of traditional shawls, one of the country's most symbolic and meaningful wedding customs. Here's how it works. The bride doesn't enter through the usual aisle. Instead, an elder woman in the family leads her through a western-facing doorway, symbolizing the farewell to her youth. The groom enters from the east, representing a new beginning, but he must touch the center of the doorway as a promise to be the pillar of their new family. When the couple finally faces each other, 2 tilmas shawls are tied around their arms and close while they feed each other. A small blanket is placed over them, symbolizing the warm home they are about to create. An elder then presents them with a lucky charm to hang in their first house. And in some regions, the couple shares a sacred token as a symbol of unity in life. What makes this ritual truly unique is the moment they share a cigarette, not out of habit, but as a ceremonial act of connection. Meanwhile, family and friends take turns sharing their own experiences about marriage. It's more than a wedding, it's a passing of wisdom between generations and a living expression of Mexican family values. Number 10. The oldest street icon of Mexico. In Puebla, one of Mexico's most historic and heritage-rich cities, there's a special kind of taxi. No traveler can miss the green Volkswagen Beetles, affectionately called Vochos by locals. They don't have taxi signs on the roof or modern technology, but spotting a Vocho instantly tells you that you're in the right place. Here's the fun fact. Puebla was once the largest Beetle factory in the world outside Germany, producing millions of cars from the 1960s until 2003. When global Beetle production finally ended, Puebla was the very last place in the world still building them the traditional way. That's why locals don't just see Vochos as cars, they see them as memories, culture, and community pride. Even though many Mexican cities now rely on modern taxis, Vochos still roll steadily through Puebla's cobblestone streets, especially in its UNESCO-listed historic center. Affordable, practical, and full of character, these Beetles are loved by both locals and visitors as a one-of-a-kind travel experience. All it takes is a wave to catch one. Then you hop into the worn back seat, listen to the driver's bolero music, and ride through the city's colorful alleys. The Vocho remains the most nostalgic and iconic way to explore a city as culturally rich as Puebla. Number 9. The most colorful tribe in the world. High in the Sierra Madre Occidental Mountains of western Mexico, the Huichol people, who call themselves Wixárika, are one of the oldest indigenous communities in the country. While much of the world rushes into the digital age, the Huichol continue living deeply connected to nature, spirituality, and art, creating what feels like a living tapestry that amazes American visitors. What makes the Huichol truly unique is their beadwork and yarn paintings, vivid masterpieces that depict the spiritual world. These aren't just art pieces, they're prayers. Each pattern carries sacred meaning, symbolizing connections to the sun, God the corn god, and spiritual guides such as deer, snakes, or eagles. One of their most famous traditions is the barefoot pilgrimage through forests to the sacred land of Huiracuta, believed to be where the gods dwell. On this journey, stretching hundreds of miles, the Huichol carry a rare cactus used in rituals to communicate with the spirit world. They are among the very few tribes in Mexico officially permitted to use sacred plants in spiritual ceremonies, a tradition so important it is protected as national heritage. Even today, in an increasingly digitalized world, the Huichol remain a living proof of Mexico's deepest cultural identity. Number 8. Mexico's own Cowboys. If Cowboys are an icon of the United States, then charros are the soul of Mexico. But don't confuse the two. Charros are not just skilled horse riders. They embody a way of life rooted in tradition, elegance, and national pride. From their elaborately embroidered suits and wide-brimmed sombreros, to their horse riding skills and graceful style, charros are seen as one of the most masculine and distinctive cultural symbols in Latin America. The tradition began in the 17th century when farmers on large estates or haciendas worked on horseback. Over time, charros developed into a proud social class, giving rise to charreria, Mexico's official national sport recognized by UNESCO as intangible cultural heritage. At festivals, horse riding events, and even weddings, charros steal the spotlight not just for their talent, but also for their elegance and striking attire. Interestingly, many Mexican women have also embraced this tradition, becoming escaramuzas, female riders who perform synchronized equestrian routines in charreria competitions. They represent one of the most powerful and traditional forms of women's empowerment you'll see in any culture. And if you think charros are just costumes, watch an Independence Day parade in Mexico, where every whip of the reins carries the weight of national spirit. Number 7. Mexico's heavenly hot springs, tucked in the lush mountains of Hidalgo, about 120 miles from Mexico City, lies Grutas de Tolantongo, a geothermal paradise where humans and nature blend in breathtaking harmony. Often called Mexico's tropical version of Iceland, this spot is famous for its natural turquoise hot springs cascading down the mountainside into a series of outdoor pools carved into the cliffs. Here's the magic. The entire hot spring system originates deep inside limestone mountains, flowing through caves, rock crevices, and underground channels that locals have carefully preserved for generations. Visitors can soak in warm, 95-degree waters surrounded by valleys, then step into a misty cave where water drips from the ceiling like ancient music echoing through stone. But Tolantongo isn't just a resort. It's part of the heritage of the local Otomi people who have long guarded these waters and passed down stories of the sacred caves. Travelers don't just come here to relax. They come to learn how locals live in harmony with nature, from their stone-built houses to the daily ritual of bathing in the springs as a form of spiritual cleansing. With over 300,000 visitors every year, Grutas de Tolantongo has become one of Mexico's most extraordinary destinations for wellness and ecotourism. Number 6. Mexico's mariachi capital. Right in the heart of bustling Mexico City, there's a place where music doesn't come from speakers. It comes straight from the heart. Welcome to Garibaldi Square, the only place in the world where you can hire a full mariachi band with nothing more than a whistle. This lively tradition has been part of Mexico's culture for more than half a century. In the evenings, as golden lights flood the square, dozens of mariachi groups in glittering gold-embroidered suits, wide-brimmed sombreros, and polished boots stand ready to perform the moment you give a signal. Just one quick whistle and a group will immediately approach, greet you politely, and invite you to pick a song. From romantic bolero ballads to high-energy rancheras, every tune is brought to life with guitars, violins, and trumpets. What's even more fun is the flexibility you can hire them for just one song under your hotel balcony. Surprise a loved one with a serenade, or keep them with you all night at a party. Prices are negotiable, often just a few dollars per song, and always served with a warm smile. Garibaldi isn't just a square. It's Mexico's biggest open-air cultural stage, where music never sleeps. If you want to feel the true spirit of Romance pride and Mexican energy, this is the place. Number 5. Mexico City never sleeps. Life in Mexico City never slows down, not even at 3 a.m. Here you could start your day riding the women-only subway cars, a unique part of the city's massive transit system, designed for safety in a metropolis of over 22 million people. At one point, traffic was so overwhelming that the government restricted driving based on license plates. Even-numbered plates could only drive on even days, odd-numbered plates on odd days, all in an effort to fight congestion and pollution. Along Reforma Avenue, often called the Champs-Élysées of Mexico, you'll pass banks, embassies, the iconic Angel of Independence monument, and crowds of people walking while eating tacos and scrolling their phones. Mexico City is where tradition and modern life coexist seamlessly. You could buy a handmade bracelet from an Otomi vendor, and then just a few steps away, step into a luxury fashion boutique. When night falls, the city transforms into another world. Underground bars, outdoor mariachi stages, and endless lines of food trucks, with smoke rising into the air. Head to Zocalo, the largest central square in Latin America, and you'll be standing in the very heart of history, surrounded by the National Palace, the Grand Cathedral, and the ruins of the Aztec Empire right beneath your feet. Number 4. Home to some of the world's strangest architecture. Think you've seen all the weirdest architecture in the world? Come to Mexico and try sleeping inside a hotel shaped like a giant snake. On the outskirts of Mexico City lies Quetzalcoatl's Nest, an apartment complex that winds like a living sculpture inspired by the feathered serpent god Quetzalcoatl from Aztec mythology. While Airbnb in the U.S. often means a cabin in the woods or a lakeside house here, you're literally living inside a legend. And Mexico doesn't stop there. At Chichen Itza, one of the new 7 wonders of the world, you'll find the pyramid El Castillo, which produces the sound of a bird's call when you clap at the base of the stairs. This precise acoustic design is over 1,000 years old and still stuns scientists today. In the capital, the National Museum of Anthropology is a priceless gem, where you could spend an entire day exploring hundreds of Maya and Aztec artifacts, treasures that even the Smithsonian would envy. Nearby, the Palacio de Bellas Artes features the world's largest Tiffany-stained glass dome, making you feel as though you're standing inside a cathedral of light. And if you're craving a thrill venture to La Zona del Silencio, the zone of silence, a desert region where signals vanish and compasses spin wildly, as if you've stepped into an episode of The X-Files in the middle of Mexico. Number 3. The land of vibrant festivals. In Mexico, festivals aren't just events, they are the heartbeat of culture. If you visit Oaxaca in July, don't be surprised to see entire hillsides transformed into a living stage. That's Guelaguetza, a festival that dates back to the Zapotec people. Here, locals don't just dance, they gift their dances and songs as spiritual offerings, each step carrying hospitality and joy. It remains one of the most authentic indigenous festivals still alive today. In early November, the whole country glows in bright orange for Dia de los Muertos, the Day of the Dead. honoring loved ones who have passed away. But instead of mourning, families create home altars with marigold sugar skulls, pan de muerto, and photos of their ancestors. They believe their loved ones return not to cry together, but to share dinner and music once more. This warm, colorful atmosphere even inspired Disney's film, Coco. In September, the Feria Nacional del Maíz shows why corn is considered Mexico's gold. People carve corn sculptures, cook creative dishes, and even wear costumes made of corn husks, a playful yet profound tribute to their roots. And if you love color music, and the Ocean Carnaval Mazatlan is an unforgettable experience. Held on the Pacific coast, it's one of Latin America's largest masquerade carnivals, a Mexican version of Rio's Carnival, but more intimate, more vibrant, and unmistakably Mexican. Number 2. Mexico, a paradise for affordable living. Living in Mexico means enjoying your morning coffee outdoors and having dinner with hot tacos under glowing streetlights without worrying too much about money. The average cost of living for one person in Mexico ranges from about $950 to $200 per month, depending on the city and lifestyle. That's only about 35–40% of what you'd pay in big cities across the US or Western Europe. You can rent a one-bedroom apartment in central Mexico City for $150 per month, while smaller cities like Mérida or Oaxaca offer rentals as low as $350,000 and $450. Utilities, gas, and high-speed internet together usually cost just $60–80 per month. Daily food expenses are also very reasonable. A meal at a local restaurant is about $6 or $8, while groceries for home cooking run around $150 to $200 per month. Public transportation is shockingly cheap, with subway tickets at only 30 cents per ride, and city taxis are also very affordable. Gym memberships cost $25–40 a month, and high-quality dental care is just a fraction, often one-fifth of the price in the U.S. It's no surprise many Americans are moving here not only for the warm weather, but because life in Mexico lets them enjoy more while spending less. With these costs, would you choose to settle here? If yes, type 1. If no, type 0. Share your answer in the comments. Number 1. A street food nation. If food is how a country tells its story, then Mexico is one of the boldest and most fascinating storytellers in the world. Walk the streets of Oaxaca or Guadalajara and you'll find tacos, the national icon available at any time of day. A thin corn tortilla filled with grilled meat, fish, onions, cucumber, and spicy salsa may sound simple, but Mexico has thousands of variations from street carts to fine dining. But if you're craving something more unusual, try Chapulin's crispy fried grasshoppers. Seasoned with garlic, chili, and lime, this protein-packed snack has been enjoyed since Zapotec times. In the U.S., you grab potato chips, but in Mexico, they call this street protein. On major holidays, pozole, a traditional hominy soup made with pork or chicken, brings families together. Once used in Aztec rituals, it is now a beloved comfort dish across the nation. And if you thought mushrooms only grew in forests, meet huitlacoche, a soft black corn fungus nicknamed Mexican truffle. With its rich earthy flavor, it's often used in tacos and quesadillas. In the U.S., when you want something big, hot, and satisfying, you order pizza. In Oaxaca, you call for a tlayuda, a giant crispy Mexican pizza topped with refried beans, meat, and Oaxaca cheese. We've just explored 15 unique and fascinating facts about Mexico together. Hopefully this gave you a fresh perspective on the country. Don't forget to follow our channel, like, and share the video to support us. See you in the next one.